Let me start by saying this to those of you who watch the news or and can't decipher between BS, or those of you who are not the victim of untrue stories. CNN ain't no different than Fox or MSNBC when it comes down to telling stories about the black community. NBC, CBS, ABC is no different. The local newspapers or magazines in your area. For too many years, black Americans, and we did this to ourselves, I think right after the assassination of King, that's what a lot of people say, but would pinpoint where it happened. We stopped telling our stories. We stopped buying from each other. We stopped listening to each other. Anytime the news media or these networks say that we uh, did something or the villains of something, we believe it. We're quick to say, "Yep, he did. It must be true because it's on TV." And with this Bill Cosby thing, R. Kelly thing, you have to think about it. What, who started it? It wasn't the big three, but it was the cable network. CNN gave uh, um, helped give life or longevity to the Bill Cosby thing. Lifetime helped give life to the R. Kelly thing. Whether we think they did or didn't do it, or it's more complicated, complex, you have to admit that these companies have an agenda when it comes down to telling black stories or things that affect the black community. A white boy, a bunch of white boys, but one particularly get caught disrespecting a Native American man. Now, I watched. If I didn't watch the story or look at it from start to finish, I would assume that the guy was being picked on, but the guy butted into something he should never butted into. He assumed that four black guys, much as a mob of 100 something or more kids, young male teenagers. Let me put that like that. Who was out there pushing back or getting in their face was somehow victims, or I want to go there and mediate and everything. And then as the story go on, the audio I played for y'all from a previous video, y'all realize he couldn't keep the story together because he wanted to make it like the black guys were the aggressor. Anybody know about the Hebrew Israelites? They stand in a tradition of the corner preacher. If for some reason everybody else want to get out and yell and protest, but when black folk do it, somehow we're in the wrong. Now, them black guys didn't lay hands on those kids. They didn't threaten their kids. They spoke their truth. And a lot of people miss the fact that these kids were at an abortion rally. They're children. Now, if you're 18 and older, you do what the hell you want. But under the age of 18, you should have their asses at home somewhere. Now CNN is trying to paint it. And I saw the news story. They made sure they sent a sister out there. The Israelites just started. They were saying hateful things, saying that they're going to grow up to be murderers, that they hypocrites. They at a rally trying to tell women what to do with their bodies. You shouldn't have an abortion. You're killing an unborn child, but the children here are alive, who are struggling, who are starving. Y'all don't give a damn about. It's about controlling numbers, and people don't realize if you can't afford a child, you further putting yourself and putting that poor child in poverty. Every male or female is not meant to have kids in their lives, but because of the racial history of Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger, some black folks, even if religious belief, it's a sensitive subject. But I keep telling our people, black women are not running out getting abortions willy-nilly. Those things are not cheap. You got to pay money. A lot of these so-called abortion clinics are not in our community. So why are you got a bunch of white kids, teenage boys, let me rephrase it, teenage boys out there marching, telling other people what they do with their body? I think that's insulting to tell somebody, because I don't like something, that you got to go about. Like me, I don't agree with homosexuality, but I'm not going to tell those people how they should be living. I'm not going to stop them from living. That's just wrong. But the Hebrew Israelites, they people don't like what they hear, but you can't deny what they said was true. School shootings are mostly done by Caucasian men or males, excuse me. Workplace shootings, war. Think about who's holding on to guns, clicking on their guns. Remember President Obama said that's guns and religion people cling to, and who was offended by it? White folk, because he saw firsthand. He was raised by white folk. But as black folks, we already knew that. But CNN ain't no different than Fox. I call CNN Fox Light. CNN is nothing but conservative news, a conservative news network. That's what it stands for. Look how CNN went after Tamika Mari, Jake Tapper and them, brought up Farrakhan and them when they had no business bringing up. And now you had white women, gave white women a cover to say, accuse the black community of anti-Semitism. When that mosque got shot, synagogue got shot, it wasn't black folks that shot it up. But why did Farrakhan or the Nation of Islam or black people come and play? And CNN them been pushing that story that's anti-Semitism in the black community when we know it's not. But now they finna sit there and try to get that white boy and them other white boys covered to say, well, it was the Hebrew Israelites that instigated. No. If the Hebrew Israelites did it, why did the camera fixate on the white boys and that Native American man? Why did they go to here? They did because they was on the side minding their own business. See, they always trying to find a way to put blame on a black person. But when you got black people that work for these networks that turn around and help push this narrative that we're the most violent, we're the most homophobic, we're the most anti-Semitic, blah, 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 people start to believe that and they run with it. Look how Reverend Jackson's image has taken a hit. It was local news, but it was national cable news. So you got a lot of blacks who don't know their history, grow up thinking like, well, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, da 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 da. There was even a time where blacks started to resent Dr. King because the media was pimping his image out and only talk about certain parts of it. This is why me, Divide Show, Professor Black Truth, and many others out here talking about we have to control our news. When you let other people tell our stories, they can twist and turn. Look how Tommy Lauren and Megyn Kelly been pushing this lie about the Black Panther Party. They never tell you that J. Edgar Hoover and them spread lies or probably told news networks to spread misinformation. They never tell you that they were systematically assassinating them under the cloak of darkness. That's what that Protel thing, when those anti-war hippies broke into there and they released them papers out there. Nobody never want to bring that up. Why do you think that Mario Van Peebles' Panther has not been released on DVD? Yeah, when it came out, Laserdisc. But how many people had Laserdisc back in the 90s? It was probably on VHS for a short period of time, but I don't remember seeing it promoted in the stores like that. You barely see it on TV. Here, this cable can show every other movie from the 1980s and 90s. But that movie, you don't see it. Why? There's a reason why. It's certain things they don't want you to see. It's certain things they don't want you to ask questions about. There are documentaries that they used to show at one point. They don't show anymore. Last night, what was that? National Geographic, I believe. Or those, yeah. Now here it is today. It would have been last week officially would have really been Dr. King's 90th birthday, but today we celebrated today. You know what they had on that last night? JFK stuff. Nothing about Dr. King, about JFK. Other networks, they had stuff up about World War II, about Hitler. Nothing about Dr. King. Now people say, well, the kids they locked down using I Have a Dream speech. There's other stuff that networks can use, foul footage that they don't want to use. Last year they had a bunch of anniversary shows on. You don't see not one in the television list, none whatsoever. Why? Because last year I told y'all they gave lip service to something April the 4th, and they said, okay, we had 50 years, we'll wait another 50 years, and by that time, Dr. King be fake. We didn't change people's mindsets of Dr. King. He'd just be a footnote. He'd just be one of those, it's how they be like President's Day. That's how the media think they slick. This is why they, when we get trolls, it ain't just the white trolls or the self-hating black trolls or people from outside. A lot of them coming from these media entities. Ask yourself, since Obama got in office, why haven't they come in our community and said down X's any questions? They seem to go to black celebrities or blacks that they know are not gonna question anything. Don Lemon don't speak for me. Charles Blow don't speak for me. Mark Lamont Hill don't speak for me. Charles Barkley don't speak for me. You get what I'm going with this. But to watch them try to turn this story, what happened with when the white boys and that Native American man, to try to turn them on the Israelites, they're gonna say, well, they instigate. I saw it. I saw it this morning. I said, I can't believe seeing it actually gonna push this lie. I guess they forget that the Hebrew Israelites, they got video themselves. What it is, the white boys got caught being openly racist. And they mama in the Senate, with the congressman saying, well, they was instigated. Wait a minute. If they thought they was being manipulated or whatever, why did they get into the Native American man's face? Why didn't they go against the four? Because it was more so-called Native Americans out there than the Hebrew Israelites. They said it was only 4 of them. Why didn't y'all step up? Because you know why? They knew them brothers would knock their ass into next week. That's why. See, and the thing is, people are saying, wait a minute, these are high school students. Why are you using kids to protest? Just like y'all say, why you be using kids to protest? See, they hypocrites. But CNN, this is why a lot of black folk don't watch CNN. I'm telling you, CNN has changed. But it started to change right around Hurricane Katrina. When they got rid of Aaron Brown, all that Paula Zahn, all them other people, that previous regime, CNN, and since 2005 has been nothing but leading to a particular mindset in this country. They talk about over at Fox, but CNN wish they was like Fox. They wanted to be Fox, but they be pandering. But at who expense? Our expense. This is why a lot of us get so frustrated at these black men and black women that work for these corporations that give them legitimacy. Nah, the white boys got caught being racist, and now y'all should blame. And CNN ought to be ashamed of themselves for giving cover to them. Maybe it's time for us as a community to start putting lawsuits against these corporations. They just spread too many lies. Look at Minister Farrakhan. That whoever network or company newspaper started that lie about him and anti-Semitism and talking about Israel, all these different things, they should got a lawsuit. That's why Janet Jackson nipped in the butt when they was when Paris, right after a year or so after Michael had died, Paris Jackson started acting out, and the media's about to start blaming Janet. Janet said, she got her lawyer, she lawyered up. Remember how TMZ was published that was saying negative things about Janet. Janet lawyered up. TMZ never again, because she said, you ain't gonna do to me like you did with my brother. See, some of our brothers and sisters say, nah, you ain't gonna do this to us anymore. See, once we start showing a united front, they won't fuck with us like that. But every time we break off into little groups, they figure, oh, we got him, we got her. We can say what the hell we want. They ain't gonna do nothing to us. Do I agree with everything Hebrew Israelites say? No. Because it's a way you can say it without saying certain things. But I know why they do what they do. They thing is, hey, this is our truth. This is they need to hear. We need to show them how they are. And I get that. And they don't. And white folks or a certain segment of white folks, those meaning racists or those who don't think they're racist, don't want you holding the mirror up to their hypocrisy. Did you guys heard the audio? Dude at first tried to make it like, I don't know who they are. Then he got to come back to the Israelites. I'm like, he knew who they were. Ain't no way in hell you're a protester. You're on social media. You ain't never came across these videos of some sort. Now, what it was, he wanted to go in and play media like, white man, Don't worry, ignore them. I'm gonna do his chant. And they turned on his ass. But CNN and them trying to make like the Israelites caused this. No. Nobody told that Mr. Native American man to butt in their business. And a white kid should have stopped messing with adults. But CNN is wrong. We know Fox is going to do it. But CNN, and don't be surprised MSNBC come behind sooner or later and do the same thing. This is why I keep telling y'all we got to control our dollars and we got to know our history. Because we let these so-called news organizations manipulate us and cause a lot of pain in our community.